Welcome to Stone's starter series, After Effects. After Effects is a very popular motion graphics and compositing tool. This video is going to give you an overview on the user interface of Adobe After Effects, how to get started with it, how to work with layer-based compositing, and how to export your first composition. We'll also be talking about animating, typography, shapes, and other elements. Let's start talking about the interface of After Effects first. You can see a project window right here. This is where you will assemble all your work files. This is your composition screen. This is where you will build your composition. This is a layer window. And the timeline. This is where you will manage and arrange or distribute your layers in time. You'll have all your effects and libraries in here. Let's get started by creating a new composition. So I'm going to click on new composition here. It's going to ask us the settings that you need to use. So let's create a new composition. You can write a name in here and you can choose a preset for what is the video file or format that you're going to work with. So this is actually showing HDTV 1080 and 29.97 is the frame rate of this. You can customize this here. You need to change this. If you want to change this, you can do that. There is a frame rate. You can change this to any frame rate that you want. I'm going to just change this to 23.976. The resolution is full. The duration is 30 seconds right now. You can change it if you want. I'm going to change this to 6 seconds. I'm going to type in 06 and we have it. The background color is black. Click OK and it will create a composition for you. Now you can see that you created a composition. So as I told you, the project window holds all the files and compositions that you are creating for easy access. The timeline is now loaded with your composition. It doesn't have anything in it, so it's not showing any information here. And you have all your effects and presets right here. You can see a mini toolbar here where you can draw shapes, you can write your typography, you have a masking tool. So we'll get into that eventually. But let's get started with creating a layer, an object right here. So let's start with some text. So I'm going to click on the text tool and type anywhere in the workspace and let's try something. So let's try After Effects. So we have this right now. I'm going to click on the move tool and you can move it anywhere that you want, just like how you would do this in Photoshop. So we have this here. You can see that the character window automatically popped in and you can change a lot of things. So this typeface is Helvetica. You can change it from here. You can change the font. So I'm going to change it to a bold typeface. You can change the size of the typeface, kerning, and all the other character adjustments that you can do in Photoshop or any other design platforms. You can do it in After Effects as well. So we have the text here. You can also see that now the layer is showing the type layer right now. Next to that, you can see the timeline. The After Effects text layer is going, or it is visible till the 6th second. So if I move the playhead, I can see that it will, when I'm playing the final composition, it will be visible till 6th frame. If I don't want it to be visible, I can just go and trim this by pulling the edges. So this now means that after the first second, this will disappear. So let's try this. Let's hit spacebar to play. And you can see that after 1 second, the text is gone because there is nothing after that. It's just we trimmed it to 1 second. We can just stretch it back again to the whole space. So it's now visible for the entire duration of the video. Now let's try adding some animation here. It's very basic. The main principle behind After Effects is keyframe animation. So we're going to create a keyframe animation. If you expand the arrow right next to the After Effects typeface, you can see there are certain tools. So there are two options. One is text and one is transform. We're going to use the transform tool first. So you're going to say that when the animation is beginning at the 0 frame, we want the position to be recorded here. So it creates a keyframe right here. But when it actually reaches 6 seconds, we want the position to be, let's say, here. We are dragging it down and we are saying that, okay, it needs to be here. Automatically a keyframe is created here. So now if you play back this animation, we can see that the animation is already happening. The text is getting animated in position right now. Now we want to do one more parameter setting here. I want the scale also to be animated here. So let's say that the scale of this text is 50% when it is starting. So the scale is 50% when it's starting, and when it reaches 6 seconds, it needs to change back to 100. So I'm going to be entering that value here, or it'll create it keyframes there for position and scale. Let's play this back, and you can see that it's now scaling up and it's creating an effect. So this is how basically keyframe animation works. We'll try and add one more keyframe here on the opacity. So when the animation is starting, I want the opacity to be 0. So I don't want to see the text, but when it reaches 6, I need it to be back at 100% visibility. Now if I play back this again, it's going to eventually come into visibility, scale, and position. So we have created our first keyframe animation here. So we have this happening. So we have the After Effects animation which is happening right here. And we'll add a shape to this. So let's create a shape tool. Let's choose an ellipse. Let's draw an ellipse right here. So when we drew an ellipse here, you can see that it works just like Illustrator or Photoshop. You can see there is a fill layer, there's a stroke, and there's some other options right there. I don't want a stroke here. So what we'll do is we'll click on the stroke and choose no stroke. Click OK. The fill color will change it to, let's say, yellow. So we have this right now. We have the shape layer, and inside that we have the ellipse. So you can actually store multiple shapes into one shape layer, but right now we'll only use one. So this is right here, and keep it somewhere here. We will drag and drop it under the text layer so we can see how this actually happens now. So when you're playing it, you can see the text is coming, and it's doing that right now. Okay, not bad. So we'll sort of keep it somewhere here. So what I'll do is I'll take the shape layer, move it where it basically starts, and I want the animation to be happening from there. So it looks good, but at the same time I want the circle also to be animated. So I'm going to do that. I will select this circle. I will again open this up, transform. Let's choose scale. The scale is like this in the beginning, and when it's 6 seconds, I want it to be much bigger than this, and I'm going here with it. At the same time, I want the position also to be changing. So I'm going to say that the position is here, but when it actually reaches here, I want the position to be right here. So the circle is also coming like that. I'm going to keep the shape layer under the text layer right now. We can see two animations are happening like this. There is a visibility problem in the text, so I'm going to select the text, and I will change the color of the text to black. Let's play this once again. We can see now the animation happens like this. So we basically worked on two different elements. There is the text and there is a shape which is working. This is the basic principle behind After Effects. Let's quickly figure out how to export this, right? So let's go to composition here and click on add to render queue. It's going to queue up our animation for render. You can just output to, select where you want to save this file to. I want to save it into my desktop as a QuickTime movie. Click on save and click render, and it's going to render our film. There are a lot more things that you can actually do with After Effects, but this is supposed to give you a head start with After Effects. So you'll be exploring more with layers, you will be playing around with custom shapes, you will be playing with images, you will be even creating composites in here. So I'll be back with the second part of After Effects intro with another video. Until then,